On this episode of Ecomm and Coffee, we're talking about the most effective drip retargeting campaigns we've ever run. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ecomm and Coffee. On this episode, we're going to be talking about retargeting with dynamic product ads. And this is a super exciting topic because after implementing this for our clients, it was a real game changer for us. We saw some awesome results off of it, and where we are talking about some real tactical stuff inside of Facebook ads and setting that up in dynamic product ads and things like that. I'm going to turn it quickly over to Terrell here, who's going to talk about exactly what these are, how they work, why they work, and maybe a little bit about how to set them up. So take it away, Terrell.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Matt. So what we're going to be talking about today is something that we've talked a little bit about before, which is the dynamic product ad. And what that is you're feeding your product feed into Facebook Ads Manager. You're matching it up with your pixel within Facebook Ads Manager, and then those two are talking to each other, and the pixel is telling the product feed what traffic you're getting on what products, so that it can then show that product that people were looking at to the consumer who was looking at the actual product. And so this is something that we've already talked about as a, really high converting, ad that you can run, because all you're doing is showing a product that they just looked at a day ago, 2 days ago, and saying, hey, come back and buy it. It's a really easy sell when somebody's already been down the funnel enough to actually be looking at your product. So what we've done is, we really saw when running these dynamic product ads that after, 5, 6, 7 days of being in that DPA, the dynamic product ad feed, that people were just dropping off. You weren't getting sales on those after that point. So what I did was we looked at, hey, how can we change this to, maybe recover a little bit more sales after that drop-off point. So that's what we're going to tell you how to do. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, essentially create a 2 to 3 to 4 step drip funnel. And what this is, you're going to have to decide on how many steps you want, dependent on your product, how much audience you have, and what type of offers you want to give. Because at each level, you're going to have to give a little bit more. And at each level, you need enough audience there to be able to run a campaign. The minimum spend you're going to want to do on any, Facebook's going to force you to do is at least $3 a day. And if you don't have enough audience to feed into that, you're going to end up with a massive frequency on those people that are looking at your ads. So if you end up with like a, 10, 15 frequency, that means somebody's seeing your ad 15 times a day in their feed somewhere, and Facebook's going to punish you really bad for that. They're going to give you bad relevancy scores. They're going to also give you just higher CPM rates, higher cost per clicks. Everything's going to go into the negative. So you really don't want that to happen. So you want to adjust this based on how much audience you have in each of these areas. So what you're going to do is we're going to treat this as a drip funnel, to where you're going to give people, the further they go without making a purchase, a better offer. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to set up the first dynamic product ad to be 1 to 3 days. You could even do 1 to 2 days if you want, kind of depending on your product and where you want to hit people with an extra offer. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the product selling conversion within Ads Manager, and you're going to select your product feed there. And then on the next screen, you're going to be able to select the remarketing, the dynamic product ad. So you're going to be able to choose, it'll give you the option to say, okay, how far do you want that look back to be? And it'll say, remarket these products to anybody who viewed or added them to cart, but did not purchase in the last how many days. And so that's where you're going to tell them, I only want it to be a 2 to 3 day look back. So that way that you're only marketing to people who looked at or added those products to cart within the last 48 to 72 hours. And you're then going to create the ad like we talked about before, to where you tell them, hey, did life get in the way? Come back, finish your purchase. No offer at all. You don't want to give them anything at that point because you don't need to. People are going to come back and purchase on their own without you giving them anything. Okay? So now that you've done that, we're going to go back in and we're going to create a second ad campaign that's now going to be targeting anybody from 3 to 7 days. Okay, so what you're going to have to do on this one, you do the whole same setup, but then you're going to tell it, I want it to be 7 days or less. And then within the audience selection down below that, you're going to have to go into advanced options, and you're going to have to tell it, I want to exclude any site visitors from 3 or less days. So that way you're excluding audience who's in the other dynamic product ad, because you don't want to be showing people multiple dynamic product ads where you don't want all those people in the 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 day area to get that offer that you're offering the people from 3 to 7 days. So that way you're only giving them that if they didn't purchase in those first 2 to 3 days. And then in that ad that you set up for that, that's when you're going to make that offer. So what I would suggest you do is come up with, depending on how much audience you have, come up with 2 to 3 offers. And if your product is something that is a long time to think about, sometimes these are, maybe if you're purchasing a $500 to $2,000 bicycle, you might want to give the person, a month to think about that. And so you could have dynamic product ads that go all the way out to 30 days. But for this, let's just go with something that you think they should have purchased by the 21st day. So on this to 7 days, we're going to give them 10% off. Come back, save 10%, purchase your product. Okay, so then you're going to do that same thing, create a new one, and then in that look back window, you're going to set it to 14 days on this third campaign. And on the third campaign, you're going to then go into the audience area and you're going to exclude anybody who viewed your website, any pixel traffic at all, for the 7 days prior. So that way anybody who was a 7-day view window is going to be excluded. So you're excluding people from the first campaign and the second campaign, and you're now only showing to people who are 8 to 21 days or 8 to 14 days, depending on how far out you want to set that window. And you're giving them another offer. So this time, maybe it's a 20% offer. Maybe it's just free shipping. Whatever you have, and however you scale your offers, scale them to where you give the least amount first and then the best offer at the very end. And so, what I would suggest is on that last offer, so when you create that, on this one, we're going to say it's the fourth campaign. It could just be the second campaign for you. If you don't have a lot of traffic, you're going to have to do the best offer on the second or third campaign, just because you don't have enough audience to load into those dynamic product ad campaigns until you have enough traffic to really feed the spend and the audience that you have loaded in there. Okay, so now at this last one, the best way to think about this is I have the opportunity to get a new customer. How much am I willing to give up to make that happen? And so this is just a question for you to answer yourself. I can't tell you how much this percentage off is going to be, but what it is whether it's you have an Ecomm funnel, you have just a funnel where you're selling a course, or really anything you're doing at this point and at this offer, you need to give as much as you're willing to pay for a complete new customer to then go out for lifetime value. So a lot of times you could be losing that cost of goods on the product that you have, but with getting that lifetime customer, eventually you're going to make up that cost. So you could offer 50% on this last one. You could just offer, free shipping and 20%. Whatever that offer is, make it one that makes you uncomfortable because you're just trying to salvage that person. Pretend that this is somebody who's walking away. They walked out of your store and they're down on the corner and they're never coming back to your city. What would you do to sell that person something? This is your opportunity to do that. So make that offer irresistible there. And then that's really it. Those are the different levels. And again, these aren't, something that are set in stone. You can tell, how much that's going to be. This could be 2 offers. It could just be, I'm going to set one at the, dynamic product ad level, and I'm going to do 0 to 7 days. And if nobody buys in that, then from 8 to 21 days, I'm going to give them free shipping and 20% off and hope that they come back. Great. Go ahead and do that. There's a lot of different options that you can do. But again, this is another place that you can set it and forget it and make some really good sales.
Excellent. And so one thing I want to talk just briefly about, Terrell, is the idea that what if we start to train our customers, right? So the next time that I want to purchase, I'm just going to go in, add it to my cart, and then I'll just leave it there. Tell me a little bit about how we might be able to exclude those potential people, right? So again, just to clarify for everyone, so this is a great remarketing drip campaign like Terrell was talking about. But what if we have a product that people buy on a monthly basis, or maybe they purchase multiple times a year? Are we training people with this to wait for that offer if they purchase frequently enough and are served that offer? Is there a way to get around that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. The best thing you can do in that case is when you're setting up that product ad, at each level, you can go ahead and just, especially I would say past the first level where you have no offer, anything past that, just exclude previous purchasers. Like on all of these that you're giving offers, you're only looking to recover that new client, because the other clients, they're going to purchase from you or they're not. But you don't want to give away the farm to people who are already going to be purchasing from you and are just waiting for a new offer. Just go ahead and you want to build a purchaser list, and you could even do 90 past 180 day purchasers as a audience that you load into there, or you can just upload your purchaser list to make sure that you're excluding those people from getting that special offer. So that's completely up to you whether you care if the person's purchased from you before or not, and you're willing to give up that margin to somebody who's purchased from you before. That's completely up to you, but you can easily do that by just excluding previous purchasers from each of those ad sets.
Perfect. So just excluding the previous purchasers, and then that way, when someone does come back, they've already purchased. So if they add to cart and they decide not to check out, they're only going to be served that one, hey, come back and check out. They won't get those special offers because they've already been in that funnel before, whether they reach it or not, they purchase, so they're excluded from that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. Yeah, that way you're not giving away anything to people that you're not happy with giving it away to. And I mean, there's some companies that, they may not care. You just want to get that sale. And if every time that person comes back, they wait, they realize the pattern and they wait 4 to 5 days to get their 20% off new coupon, then okay, that's fine. Like, you're still getting a sale and you're still going to be positive in your margins on that. But that's completely up to the website or the company that's running the offer. But you can absolutely exclude those previous purchasers without a problem.
Perfect. And just to put everyone's mind at rest here, so talking about real data, real statistics back from this strategy being implemented, we see most of our results coming from the no offer and the first offer drip. So we're not even getting into, actually the larger offers for the most part. So just a little data back on that. We estimate that you'll probably experience the same thing. Within the first no offer, just come back and purchase within 3 days. given the frequency of that, most people end up purchasing. That usually has our highest return on ad spend, and then that does trip into the second one. We do have a good amount of return on ad spend there with the offer. So just so you guys know where most of those do come in. Obviously, good to have 3 or 4 for those straggling customers, but again, this is a great strategy to implement, and it's usually going to be in your no offer or your second offer campaign. So plan those accordingly. That's just about it for this episode. Terrell, you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. Just keep in mind that this is a perfect thing that you can set it and just get it right and let it run for a while so that you're really hitting that traffic, and keeping in mind that when we're doing this, it's all part of that overall funnel of sending that top of funnel traffic, nurturing them at the middle, and then, just dumping them here. If they looked at products on your site, they added something to cart, they're going to be getting into this, and you're going to really be hammering that sale home at this point. And it can really help to find some of the pain points that some of your consumers are having. So if you're not seeing a ton of sales at top or middle of funnel, and then you're not seeing them at the first level, but you are seeing them at the second, third, and fourth level, that tells you that maybe your product is not priced for the audience that you're targeting. So that you may need to change your top of funnel audience targeting, or you may need to change the price of your product to really fit the consumer that you're going after. So it's really good for, data gathering, and also just, generating sales for your product.
I love that. That's a really good way to look at it, as far as collecting data on that and then auditing what it is you have going on with either audience or price. And again, just to reiterate, guys, this strategy that we just laid out for you is the money maker. This strategy with this retargeting drip campaign is what we use in our client accounts to make them the money to afford us the ability to fill that top of funnel. So setting this up, and this is, especially in the e-commerce space, setting that up and having that running, retargeting is where you will make your money. We do not expect return on our awareness campaigns. We expect a certain tolerance of return on our engagement campaigns, but at the bottom of funnel here is where we really, really make all the money to afford us that top of funnel spend. So what we just outlined here is extremely, extremely important. Make sure that you have a strategy like this, or implement this one specifically with those kind of offers, increasing offers for retargeting. And that just about does it. So until next time, we'll see you, and take care.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
We've been using executing across many